Luke Rio, along with Beverly Clark, who is our digital media coordinator here at Stream TV. Beverly, good to see you this morning.
Hello.
We have a very special guest joining us. Cam's joining us from Hoppy Sporting Goods. Cam, good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
Before we get started, and you can tell us everything that's going on at Hoppy's, but tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Yes, my name's Camden. A lot of people around here call me George. 24 years old. I'm originally from Oregon. Moved out here just to reopen and run Hoppy Sporting Goods. Obsessed with guns, obviously. Hunting, fishing, all that good stuff.
So you moved here from?
From Oregon, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he took the trailer
Yep.
attached to it, and his dog Sadie Mae.
Yep.
That's great. Were you familiar with the area before coming here?
Yeah, I've been coming back since 2016 for flintlock season. My uncle's originally from this area, so he always came back for hunting trips and whatnot anyways.
So you love the area?
I actually do, yeah. It's a far cry from where I'm from, so it's definitely been a little bit of getting used to, but overall I like it better than my hometown.
I feel like you have to say that, though, when you're on air and stuff. It's like, do you love it here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I swear. I promise. It's true.
I do like it quite a bit.
Well, good. Now, Hoppy's is it's quite interesting because it has such a strong history in itself, and revitalizing what the business has to be exciting, especially when it's a business that has a strong history.
Right. Yeah, it's a 3-generation family store. It's been a sporting goods store since 1926 was their first year open. Same building, everything's original. So
Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
You're going to do a 100-year anniversary here soon,
Yeah,
too, right?
that's crazy to think about.
What is this, 2024?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the day that it opened?
Oh, I'd have to look at that old news article that I have.
Dang.
I'm not sure the exact date. Just know it was in
Well, you've got a couple years to prepare.
1926. Yeah.
I'll have to do like a big 100-year celebration. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, kind of run through the ideas behind opening this up, and was it just here it is, there is a history to it, this is something that you have a passion for, and
Yep.
thought this would be a good fit?
Yeah, so we own another gun shop in Bend, Oregon, where I'm from. It's called Hammer Down Firearms. So I've been managing that one for about the last 3 years.
Can you talk about how it was a coincidence that its name is Hammer Down?
Yeah.
And his last name's Hammer?
There you go.
Last name's Hammer, and that's just a coincidence because that's another business that we just bought, and that was already its name. Which is funny because I have my own side gig business called Hammer Down Outdoors, which I had started before Hammer Down Firearms existed. So it's just all a coincidence how it all came together.
Is that serendipity? Is that what they call it?
I think so.
It's fortuitous.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I was approached by my uncle who owns all these gun stores. His name's Aaron Clickett, and he gave me 5 minutes aside. He's had the idea, hey, do you want to move to Titusville and reopen Hoppy's? You got 5 minutes to decide, yes or no. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah, why not? So kind of a whim decision, but at the same time, there was some planning behind it.
Yeah. How long did it take to get everything together once you decided to do that?
So it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 months for the licensing to come back from the ATF. So there was that waiting period. From the day that conversation was had, it took me about a year to get out here because that's when it was popped, is when I was here last year for flintlock season.
So just kind of walk through setting up a business. I love talking to entrepreneurs. What was that process like? I mean, obviously you have experience, so it probably wasn't that difficult. It's just making sure all the paperwork was done and setting everything up. But I mean, is it exciting for you to kind of walk into a space and say, okay, this is from layout to making sure that's the. I mean, you could have picked a different name if you wanted to, I'm sure.
Right.
But just kind of walk through it, with everybody, just the process of getting a business up and running.
Yeah, so I guess we had a leg up since there's so much history with the name Hoppy's Sporting Goods, and that's why we wanted to keep the name as it is, to preserve the history and preserve that family's legacy. And then also it's just, if we would have changed the name, it wouldn't give the town the same nostalgic feeling they have about it. But yeah, basically A to Z setting it up. Most of the licensing and stuff like that was done by my uncle, and then we've got some office gals out there in Oregon that handle a lot of that stuff for all of the businesses. So they did most of that, made it a lot easier on me. So I just had to become a responsible person on the federal firearms license, send all my fingerprints to the ATF so they know exactly who I am.
You make that sound like that was sort of a challenge. Like I had to be the responsible one.
Become
Yeah.
a responsible person. That's what
Yeah.
I was wondering. You said it's on the federal what?
On the federal firearms license.
How do they tell? How is that measured?
Yeah, so the way the responsible persons works on that, there's 3 responsible parties. Aaron is the licensee name, and then there's 3 responsible parties underneath him. So if anything happens within that business or with that license, any of us could be held liable.
Okay.
So it's just a liability thing, really.
Did you feel like you were a responsible person outside of that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
I'm not.
He definitely wouldn't have given me the opportunity.
People are surprised I have 3 kids, so I mean that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take pride in that.
Right.
So when it comes to inventory, I'm sure there's like a lot of things you'd like to have in the store, but there's the reality of okay, well let's start with this and kind of build from there. What
Yep.
were some of the things you had to make? You wanted to make sure you had to start, and then what are things you hope to add down the road?
Yeah, so we definitely wanted to start it out with a lot of ammunition. That's always been a good one because people are always looking for ammo, and with recent
Well,
years...
I was going to say the last couple of years it's been difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So people like to see loaded shelves of ammo. So that was first priority. Second priority was firearms. I brought over like 175 firearms from the bin store. And then from there I started ordering because a lot of the stuff we brought is good in that market, not great in this market for what people around here want and need. So it was a learning curve trying to figure out exactly what inventory. But then again, people come in, they ask for something, you don't have it, take mental note of it or write it down on a piece of paper, and then I start stocking that stuff as time goes on. So I've been able to fill the store up with more things that I'm not used to selling versus out there that I would have normally been used to selling. A lot of hunting gear here, fishing supplies, hunting rifles, some archery product, not a whole lot, but basically just all your outdoors goods and gear.
Now, if somebody comes in, maybe they don't see something, can you work with them and have something ordered, or how
Yeah.
would that work?
Yep, absolutely. Always do special ordering. Normally tell people about a week on shipping if I can get it, and I have 8 or 9 sources I can check with, wholesalers that I can buy from, and so normally I'm usually able to run something down. Might take a little bit of time, but I can pretty much always find it.
Now, for those purchasing for the first time, what's that process like? You hear what maybe the national media says, but what's the reality when somebody comes in and they want to own, any one of your products?
Yeah, so as far as firearms goes, federal law, you have to fill out a Form 4473 for every firearm purchase. So that's the criminal background check. The Pennsylvania State Police processes those, so you use their web portal, submit all their information. In Pennsylvania, if you want to buy a handgun, you have to be a Pennsylvania resident. You can't be a resident of another state to buy a handgun here. Long guns, you can be a non-resident. So you fill those out. You got to have photo ID. It's got to be valid, and it has to have a photo on it. So there's some people around here that have IDs that don't have photos on them. Can't sell you anything. So you just fill out that federal form. Then I check everything. Once I come back with a approval number from the state police, and you're good to go. You just got to pay me now.
So in order to purchase a firearm, you need to have ID with your picture on it.
Yep, valid ID with your current address on it as well.
You've
Okay.
seen IDs that yourself that don't have photos on it?
Yeah, so that's common with the Amish. The Amish don't have photos on their
okay.
IDs.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a workaround for that then, or?
Yeah, because are they allowed?
Yeah, so that's since they don't have photo ID, can't sell it to them. They're just their little ID because I don't have a picture to compare and
Yeah.
make sure that's who they say
Oh,
they
wow.
are. So properly identifying somebody's a big key to the first part of the step to sell them. They can buy black powder guns because black powder, muzzle loaders, flintlocks, those kinds of things don't require a background check. So anybody can buy those.
And it sounds like complicated because you listed a bunch of stuff, but I must have gone through it because I have a bunch of guns, but I don't remember it being difficult at all. So
Right.
so you listed, so whoever is doing it like takes care of that stuff for you too, though. So it was pretty
Right.
easy for me. And I have a driver's license, so that made it nice.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a difficult process.
So I think you said this, the turnaround time, if somebody comes in and fills out all the paperwork, they know, how long does it take before they know, or before you know?
Could be instant. Sometimes it could be a couple hours or a couple of days. It just depends on, your background, if you've ever had any issues, ever been in trouble, or even
Luke.
arrested or something. And then your last name. So if you have a unique last name or a unique set of names, you're more than likely going to bust through the system right away without an actual operator reviewing that background check. But if your name is Tim Jones, you're probably not going to get approved instantly because there's probably a Tim Jones in Pittsburgh with felonies. So
Oh.
it's
Yeah,
just
I have a really basic name, though, and I still got approved instantly, so it's no, and I mean, a lot of people
Well, you just
have
never
my
know.
name.
I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
It's a very old white lady name.
Yeah, that is true. It is.
I guess they're not always causing trouble, though.
Probably not.
Maybe not getting guns.
When you get back, look up Beverly Clark, and you'll probably get a bunch of listings now. So
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
all kinds of...
it's bad.
All of my arrests are online, so...
Yeah. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel. Learning about Hoppy Sporting Goods here this morning, which you got a great location right next to Missy's Arcade Restaurant. Boy, does the smell kind of eke over? I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's
Smells like
delicious
bacon in
food.
there all day.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's a door that's...
Yeah, I have a conjoining
in,
door,
yeah.
so I can see her customers. They can look in and see the store.
Which is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it always brings people over because they're like, "What's over there?"
Yeah. Or while I'm here, maybe I should stop by and grab X,
Yep.
Y, and Z.
Exactly.
So we're into a new year. Tell us what's coming up. What are folks gearing up for? And yeah, this is a very outdoorsy area, as you said. So people
Very
do
much
get
so.
excited to spend time outside.
Yep. Yeah, so this time of year, it's flintlock season right now. That goes out January 15th. So right now it's the black powder supplies, the projectiles, the cleaning stuff for them, the black powder guns themselves. And then coming around the corner, we're going to be looking at spring turkey season and then also fishing in the spring. So I'll be gearing up for both of those, having, turkey calls and a little bit more hunting gear. And then I'm going to be working on the fishing supplies pretty heavily in the next 2 months.
That's great. Now, do people come in days before something, before something opens up, or is it weeks before? Or I mean, are we last minute people around here?
There's a lot of last minute
Yeah.
people around here. The day before rifle deer season opened, I can't tell you how many hunting licenses I sold. I know it was over 100.
Wow.
And so I had 20 to 25 people standing in line on my front counter for the first 6 hours of the day, and it never slowed down until the last couple hours.
That's fantastic, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so kind of walk us through just that aspect of it. I mean, being behind the counter and seeing the customers in there, what's the response been from the public?
So far, it's been a great response. A common thing you hear, it's unfortunate, but a common thing you hear in this industry is people will walk into a gun shop and the people behind the counter tend to make them feel uncomfortable or like they're less knowledgeable or valuable or that you're just flat out stupid.
Mm-hmm.
We hated that. We've always hated that because even us as gun guys have walked into gun stores and been treated like that. And it's like, well, I know what I'm talking about. Why you treat me like I don't? So that's the main business rule for us is you treat everybody with kindness, be overly helpful, greet everybody as soon as they walk in the door, no ignoring anybody, any of that. And that's going a long ways in this town. Everybody seems to love that. And you get a lot of feedback about the friendliness.
I'm not trying to get my wife in trouble. However, she'll mention like, oh, maybe we should get something just to have at home, security, wise, and we'll be out someplace and look, and she'll be like, oh, that's pretty. I like that. Like, you don't buy it because it's pretty.
Yeah, I have to agree with your wife, though. I do buy it 'cause it's pretty.
But probably that is an aspect too, where what you're talking about is explain to the customer, oh, well, that might be great, and yeah, it's a great weapon, but maybe this is something that you need for this particular case, or
Right.
helping them out in that regard. But so, do you get a lot of that as well from like non-hunters? Like, hey, I just want to have something to protect my property or my family, because obviously there's a lot in the news and
Oh, yeah.
people get concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, you do see a lot of that in all various forms. A lot of times it's a dollar number that they don't want to go above. So someone will come in and be like, I want a good carry gun, but I can only spend $300 or $400. What's the best option in that range? And then normally I'll put some stuff in their hands. I always tell people, if it feels comfortable in your hands, you're probably going to shoot it better. If it's not comfortable in your hands, you're probably not even going to want to practice with it. So that's a big one. Definitely do get a lot of the ladies walking in. You see the rose gold gun or the purple gun, and they're like, I want that one. It's purple.
That was me.
Yeah. See a lot of that. I mean, if they want it, they want it. But I always mention that. I'm like, hey, if it's not comfortable in your hand, then you're probably not going to want to carry it, let alone practice with it.
Do they ask you advice? Where can I go? Is there a shooting range? Where can I go to learn how to use the weapon? I mean, what's...
Yeah. So as far as training out here and then a shooting range, actually, both are going to be the same place. Titusville Sportsman's Club over there off of, I believe it's Greytown Road there. Pat Aiken is a NRA certified instructor. So I sell the memberships for the club there at the shop.
Oh,
so
nice.
You can
Okay.
get your membership there. I'm not sure if they have any lifetime memberships available anymore, but you can always do the 1-year renewals, $25. And then he does an 8-hour course, I think, for $100. He has great pricing for it, and he'll run the newbies through from A to Z. If you've never held a gun, then you're still good to go. He'll go through all of it with you, and he even provides other firearms for you to try and train with.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I was just flashing back to sixth grade students here at the Titusville Area School District. One of the only school districts in the nation, maybe, that send the entire sixth grade program out to a camp for a few days where they actually get to learn how to shoot.
I remember
That's
that.
awesome.
Use a bow and arrow, orienteering, all that stuff.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Wilderness Quest
Yeah.
is what I think it was called. I
Yeah.
remember at Wesley Woods. I think it's at a different place
yeah.
now, but I think they call it Wilderness Quest. But I remember, like, they take you in sixth grade because you're like 11-ish, and then so that way you learn how to shoot.
And I think at the time you could get your hunting license through that program, and
Yeah, I think so.
but it's just phenomenal. But it gives kids a chance to hold a weapon, use it, learn safety, some preliminary stuff, but some of the basic things.
Yeah.
I would imagine if somebody around here went through a program like that, but maybe they haven't held a weapon in a few years or a decade or two, they're going to get that support by coming into Hoppy's. They're going to be able to talk to you, and you can say, hey, not only can you can pick out a weapon here, but we can also provide you with information on where to go and kind of just get acquainted with the weapon again.
Right.
And
right.
you offer that too, right? I think you've mentioned to me before of
Yeah.
people, if they want to know how a gun feels and stuff, that you've been able to.
Yeah. Usually, if I got a used gun on the shelf, like say you don't want to go pay for training or anything like that, I have a small fee for this usually just because of the time to go out to the range. But if I have a gun to my name that you want to try and shoot, or there's a used one sitting on the shelf, then we can go experiment with those and play with those outside of business hours, and you can get a feel for them. And then normally when I sell a gun to somebody, or if they just are trying to learn one, I'll go through everything, the takedown and the cleaning and the operation of the whole entire firearm. That way you're not confused when you leave with it.
Awesome. All right. Lot to unpack there, so
What's
to
your
speak.
favorite gun?
Oh.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Oh, let's see. I usually say, you got to make me pick one from every category: a handgun, a long gun, and a shotgun.
Okay.
So I'd say for a handgun, it's always going to be 1911s, very nostalgic. Long gun, specifically my favorite hunting rifle, which is a Browning A-bolt chambered in .243 Winchester super short mag. I've shot a lot of critters with that gun. I've had it since I was 14.
Wow.
It's one I'd take to war. And then shotgun, Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. It's a 12 gauge.
Where's the best place to hunt around here?
In the woods.
In the
The
woods.
woods.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
It
good
depends on
spot.
what you're hunting, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, around here the hunting's a lot different than what I'm used to. So it seems like you can go anywhere in Pennsylvania and you have a good chance at shooting deer.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
They are.
littered.
I had like 6 yesterday when I was trying to just drive home, and they were slowly making their way across the road, so I had to wait. And then there were like 10 more on the other side.
Yep.
So
Well, what are the store hours?
So right now I'm doing Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. And then usually in hunting season, leading up to rifle season, I'll go 6 days a week, and I'll be open on Mondays as well, to 10 to 6.
All right, so you can get all your supplies there and some cool gear. What about that's a really great hat.
Oh yeah, this is the hat for our other store.
Hammer Down, right?
Yep, Hammer Down Firearms. We always add the USA into everything too.
I like that you're advertising for the other store instead of your own.
Yeah,
here.
I don't have any Hoppy's merch yet.
Working on that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So stop in and visit right next to Missy's on Diamond Street in Titusville. Well, best of luck with everything. Come back and update us on what's going on.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last questions, Bev?
Bev.
I know. It just drives me nuts when I say
Oh,
Bev
thank
Verley.
Too many.
I only
Bevs.
call her Bev because she has that purple
I
gun.
hate
She
it.
doesn't, and she hates it. Yeah.
No, I think I'm good.
Go
Thank
get a
you.
real gun, and then we'll call you
I
Bev.
have
Yeah.
more guns than that too.
Oh, okay. All
They're
right.
not all purple. I wish they were.
Yeah, I wish they were.
Thanks.
Spray paint.
Yeah. There you go.